It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, we're back again. It is your Monday edition of the midday broadcast. And of course, we're talking all things today about finding love during lockdown. It's a hot topic right now during these times. And joining us in studio, we have therapist, trainer and speaker Asha Dullabh as we discuss various aspects of online dating and finding love during lockdown. And then we're also lucky enough to have Megan Daniels, creator of The Mood magazine and future wife to our very own chef Clem Pedro, as she shows us how to make a delicious meal that you and Bay can make and enjoy together for a lockdown date night, even though it is level 1. It's going to be a sizzling kind of episode, so let's start right off by finding out from the experts about how to go about finding love during lockdown.
Well, it really has been a difficult time for most people with the global pandemic. I think, messing up with everybody's flow in many, many regards, in many ways, but including relationships and dating. And the question that we're asking with many people's lives sort of, turned upside down: finances, mental health, future plans. The one that hits close to home for so many is our love lives. Let's talk about love, baby. And we're joined by therapist, speaker and trainer Asha Dullabh to discuss how single people have been coping throughout lockdown. And we'd love to hear your thoughts and your experiences. So please be sure to leave a comment on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Asha, so good to have you here.
Thank you.
This is such an interesting topic because really a trending, I think, conversation amongst a lot of people, especially those who are single, has been finding love and building those connections online in ways that may even otherwise be unconventional. What's that space looking like?
Oh, online dating. It's a big yes for online dating.
Yeah?
I think that as much as online dating has been addressing romance, I think it has also been addressing the pandemic of loneliness. People have been feeling lonely, people have been feeling isolated, we've all been thrown into the survival mode. So, I mean, we've all had to embrace this a new opportunity to be adaptable and creative in finding the love of our life.
Yeah. And so what we're seeing as well, though, is that people then are texting and video calling, and that's how they've been able to build those meaningful connections. But are those connections really meaningful, and to what extent then?
I think every connection is meaningful. I think that we text, it's even out of lockdown, this is how we connect, this is how we socialize. We text, which then goes into some voice calling, which then leads to video chatting, and of course the virtual dates nowadays, and we finally get to the real meeting.
Yeah.
So it's definitely broadening our pool of possible matches beyond our, our environments and people that our social circles that we're used to. So, I mean, it's opened us up from local to global at the moment.
I think that the opportunities are endless when it comes to online dating because suddenly now your pool of people that you're able to interact with goes beyond just the guy or girl that you're meeting at the bar, at the restaurant, or at a wedding or a funeral, as most people have traditionally. But what other opportunities does the online dating space sort of present in terms of being able to really sift when going through the dating process? Because now you have all these options, and so the amount of work you have to do in considering when you have to consider who to date becomes different, right?
It's challenging. I think that we can look at it as maybe looking at watching different movies. So if you can imagine maybe watching 4 movies at the time, this is similar to people trying to engage with 4 different people at the same time, and it can be a different story. It can be a story of a horror story, a comedy, a romance, and sometimes we just maybe need to stop and invest into really watching one movie and embracing it and getting in touch with the story and the narrative. Because in relationships, it's all about a narrative. It's all about a story that unfolds between 2 people. And we need to embrace the story. I think that in my experience, certainly a lot of people I've had conversations with who have embarked on online dating have been apprehensive mainly because of the exact thing that you mentioned, the narrative, is that people often feel that people hide their narrative or sort of, cook up their narrative to suit what they think you're wanting to hear. So what should people really then be on the lookout for when it comes to dating online or trying to build these connections online? Then? I think people generally go into dating as with a bit of caution, with skepticism, with a bit of distrust. So I think people just need to look out for not sort of selling your soul immediately, just be careful that, there's a possibility of rejection. Someone may even ghost you after a while. You may connect with someone, then after a while, you don't hear from them. Be open to that. It's all about just finding the right partner, and that is a process. It's all about growth and evolving. And sometimes, you know, we will have to sift through the mix
Yeah.
and to find the right one. Or
Yeah.
sometimes we need to just change a picture.
What are the rules of engagement? So if you're on, if you're doing online dating, when do you decide to, sort of open yourself up exclusively to one person or two people and have that conversation with the people to say, I'm only exclusively online dating you during this time, with the prospect of, potentially meeting you at the end of lockdown? Do you even have that conversation? Is that something that you don't speak about? What are the rules there?
I think, you know for sure. I mean, after engaging with someone for, I think, even 5 minutes, you get a gut feeling that, hey, man, I want to get to know this person a little bit better. And with the online dating and the more talks and virtual dates, I mean, you eventually just you become sort of excited.
Yeah.
You create a fantasy about meeting this person, and you can have that conversation as soon as possible. Say to them, I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah.
Experience the adventure and excitement
Build
in
the
it.
anticipation.
That's it.
But online dating obviously isn't just about getting onto an online dating app. Sometimes it's about reawakening old love and rekindling old relationships. So where you get online to reconnect with someone that you may have previously connected with. What's that looking like? What's that landscape like?
That's quite common. I think that we all want to feel emotionally
Yeah.
safe, and sometimes just maybe rekindling a relationship with an ex is great because
Yeah.
it's a sense of familiarity. You feel safe. You kind of know what to expect. But we also need to navigate that very carefully. We don't want the same problems arising again.
Yeah.
So have a conversation about that beforehand. It's all about really good, open communication with your ex, if it has to be someone from your past.
There is so much to chat about, and I wish we had a whole day to have this conversation. I mean, you need to put together a whole seminar when all of this is done for people to literally buy tickets and sit and watch and listen to you engaging on this subject. But absolutely, absolutely insightful. Thank you so much. That's Asha Dullabh, of course, our relationship therapist and speaker, who really is always so insightful when it comes to this conversation. We do want to hear from you. Continue to connect with us on Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on Facebook. But right now, though, once you've built that connection online, you almost want to mesmerize the person with a bit of a recipe, with a meal. And here is a date night recipe.